Hi, this is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle, and today I have the opportunity to review a product that a lot of viewers have been asking about, particularly as the spring season is about to start. Well, here in the Northeast, that spring season means striped bass and the striped bass fishery. And well, those fish usually require a saltwater reel, one capable of handling bigger fish. And I've been asked on more than one occasion to take a look at the KastKing reels, because KastKing reels are well-made reels that are value and feature packed for the price that you pay. And specifically, I was asked to do a comparison between the KastKing Megatron, which is selling for approximately $60 for the 5,000 size reel, and the KastKing Capstan Elite, which is about double that price at around $129 for that reel. And what makes the differences, what features are in there, what is the value you get for the reel, all those types of questions have come up. Because when you fish for striped bass, you need a reel that's solid, that doesn't have a lot of flex in it from a spinning reel standpoint, that has the line capacity to handle a run, that has the max drag and the support systems to be able to hold on to that fish, and well, on other things, looks nice as well on your rod. So let's take a look first at the KastKing Megatron. I will do an unboxing video on the KastKing Capstan Elite as well. It won't be part of this one. And then we'll do a side-by-side comparison as to which one might be the right reel for you. So this just arrived in the mail, and we're going to get started. I did take a moment here to slice open the side. Everybody always likes when I work with a razor knife and fears that I'm going to slice off more than just the box. But this is your KastKing. And a little bit about KastKing. KastKing was formed in 2011. They started reel production about 12 years ago. Actually, they're running a 12-year anniversary sale now, so you may even be able to pick this reel up for a couple dollars less than that $60 that it normally sells for. And they're located in Garden City, Long Island. That's about midway out on Long Island, for those of you that know it. And Long Island is a very long island. That's why it's named as such. And about the midpoint of there is Garden City, and that's where KastKing is headquartered for their U.S. business. The reels are made in China, and they are quality-made products. And, well, let's take a look inside, see what you got when you open up a box. So the first thing you're going to notice is the look of the reel. And this one, well, it's kind of set. It's called Megatron. Tron, for those of us, of course, that know the science fiction and everything, kind of suggests robotics and the like. This kind of has that type of a feature. It's a solid, dark, black metal reel. Cosmetically, it's a beautiful looking reel. It does have a couple of things of interest in here. Not only is there the industrial design with the triangular type shapes all around, but it just kind of has that kind of a futuristic look to it, if you will. It does have a slotted rotor where you can see the material that's been removed, which makes it lighter in weight. I think overall the reel weighs about 13 ounces, which is not terrible for a 5,000 size reel. You're also going to notice the slotted rotor. And these slots are there not just for cosmetic design, but when you're fishing in a wet environment, particularly in salt water, you want to get rid of that salt water, because if it hangs around, it's going to start to affect fit and finish. And in some cases, it's going to lead to corrosion with inside the reel and its components. And the micro sands and micro salts could also damage some of the moving parts. So if you can design slots in the rotors and in the spool, well, you're going to be in a better condition to eliminate some of that water intrusion and some of the damage that can be caused by it. Looking at the spool, this whole body is a machined aluminum, and they say it's zero flex, which is exactly what you want when you're going to be handling the big fish. The aluminum spool does have cross-hatching on the inside of the reel. The cross-hatching means that it's braid ready. And unlike some of the other reels you might find in this price category, that's not a rubber band. that's cut right into the spool, which means that you won't suffer braid slip when you tie your braid directly to it. It's always recommended that you back braid when you put it onto a spool, but this cross-hatching will help because it's got an abrasion to it. It will hold and allow that slippery braid to grab onto that. The body, as I mentioned, is completely aluminum, and well, the drag washers that are inside the reel are carbon fiber drag washers. The carbon fiber drag washers are, well, that's state of the art. It's a drag washer that's going to allow the reel to take a beating and to hold up under that condition. It's not going to tear. Generally, they're not porous, so the drag washers will last longer, but they don't need to be maintained as well. This reel has a very healthy 39.5 pounds of max drag. That's pretty impressive. Most of the time you're going to pick up a spinning reel, you're going to find 12 to 15 pounds. This one with the drag washer setup being what it is going to be significantly better, almost 2 times better in some cases. When you spin the reel, it's a nice spinning reel. You can see it turns free and easy. That's because it's a 7+1 ball bearing system. It has the ball bearings in all the right places. It has a ball bearing on each side of your main gear. It has a ball bearing on your pinion, and you can stop right there, quite honestly, because those are the important ones in any reel that you're looking at. When you go back to some of the classics or the antiques or the vintage reels, you might find those 3. You might find 2, one there and one on the handle side of the main gear. You may only find 1 up on the pinion gear. I always advise folks, if you're looking for the reels, particularly the modern reels, make sure you have a ball bearing on each side and on the pinion gear. The rest of them, they're helpful, but they don't involve the cranking of the reel as much as those 3. And you'll get a nice smooth operation of those bearings. Those bearings are double shielded stainless steel bearings, and well, they're built to last for a while. Where are the other ones? You have an oscillation gear below, which is going to have one. You have a line guide, which has 2 of them, and you have a ball bearing in your handle assembly. So those are less important, if you will, in terms of the operation of the reel. Clearly, they're going to help, but the main workhorses of those bearings, again, are going to be the one on each side of the main and the one on the pinion gear. From a main gear standpoint, you have a zinc alloy main gear. I've had these reels apart. It's a very impressive and sturdy gear. The pinion gear that it drives is machined out of solid brass. So you have the marine brass, a zinc alloy, definitely rugged construction for the reel itself. We had mentioned the braid ready spool. On the spool itself, there is a capacity of, if you're using mono, 16-pound test would probably be the right one. You can take 12 or 16. You can probably put 20 on it at a reduced capacity. But at 16 pounds, the capacity is 330 yards of monofilament. That's an awful lot for a 50 size reel. If you wanted to translate that over to braid, you could get approximately the same amount of yards, around 300, for 50-pound braid. And if you wanted to fish 30-pound braid, you could get more. The only application I think that might apply to is trolling. The 50 size reel is a very versatile reel. You can use this one in the surf, which kind of what we're talking about with a spring run for bass coming out of the Hudson River right now. And for those of you that may not be familiar with the Hudson River and its estuaries, the bass go upstream in the fall to winter over. They get up the Hudson River all the way to Albany. For those that are somewhat familiar with it, for those that aren't, go take a look on the map. You'll see that's way upstream. As the waters begin to warm in the spring, they come down. They come in through the New York Harbor and they exit into the Atlantic Ocean, and they start a trip up to Massachusetts. And then in the fall, they return and go back to the upper Hudson River for the winter overs. So if you're using a reel like that, these fish can easily weigh anywhere from 10 or 15 pounds all the way up to the big cows at 45 or 50 pounds. You need a reel that's got the sturdiness of a reel like this, that's got a frame that's not going to flex, that's got max drag that's in that 39-pound area. It's got a solid gearing. It's 5.2 to 1. That means for every time you turn the main gear, your rotor is going to turn 5.2 times. That's a healthy retrieve rate. When you do retrieve, that's going to bring in about 24 inches per turn. And, well, it's capable of handling not only the plugs or your lures or your soft baits that you may be throwing to attract the fish, but it's going to be able to bring it in once you do hook it. Again, at 13, just over 13 ounces weight, your arm and your hands are not going to get tired as you fish all day casting. This reel is also appropriate for fishing from a boat, and the two types of fishing you can do from the boat is the trolling. You can certainly cast lures off of there like you would from shore, and drop fishing. So you can use this in inshore ocean, deep lakes, Great Lakes, deep lakes, or wide rivers where you need to cast as well. It would make a nice catfish reel overall. One of the nice advantages of this reel, and we had mentioned it has the 7+ to 1. The 1 is the instant anti-reverse, and that's got a great clutch on it that's going to stop it immediately. But on this reel, you have the capability of an anti-reverse override. If you flip this switch, you can backpedal the reel. Now, why is that important? Well, it saves the drags if you wanted to fight this the good old-fashioned way, or if you wanted to live line fish. Up here, we would live line moss bunker, for example. And when you're live lining a bunker, as the fish is swimming away from you, you can just leave it in anti-reverse mode, and it'll act as a bait feeder where you don't need to flip the bail to let line out, reset, flip, and repeat as you can. It'll allow that to spin out backwards. So two advantages to the override. One is that you can backpedal the reel to let the fish swim out without tearing up the drags. The other is on the live line with either the fish swimming away, or if you're chunk baiting, looking for those fish, maybe the current's carrying it downstream. Again, you don't have to constantly adjust. You can just let the current take it and let the reel spin backwards to release the line. So it's pretty impressive. It's a reel that's well made, and it's at the appropriate price point. So that's what I call a value-priced reel, because you got a lot of features and functions in an attractive reel that's well made, that has the ability to, or the versatility to handle all kinds of fishing. It's sort of a one-size-fits-all for the types of fishing we would be doing here in the Northeast. Again, boat, pier, surf, riverbank, it's going to handle all of those. And as long as you're targeting fish like that, maybe a catfishing, it would be a nice reel for catfishing, for example. As long as you're targeting that, you don't need to buy 2 or 3 or 4 reels to accomplish that goal. A single reel will do. So overall, I am impressed by the quality, the manufacturer, the features and the functions, and of course, the price of the reel. So if you want to learn more, there's a link in the description to KastKing, and you can take a look for yourself, see if you like that, and if you want to order, you'll be on that screen to do that as well. Well, I hope you've enjoyed that. As I mentioned, I will be doing a comparative video coming up. That comparative video will be against a KastKing Capstan Elite. It's approximately twice the price of this. So we'll look at what features and functions you get for the additional money spent. We'll take a look at that reel versus this reel after I do the similar analysis of the Elite. And, well, it'll give you additional information for you to make your decision on. Right now, I've made my decision. I'm going to put a line on this reel, put this on the pole, and as I mentioned, the striped bass is starting to break. Why not give it a try, do a little bit of a field test on it, and report back to you on how well that it did. Well, before I leave, I want to thank our first responders, our police, fire, safety, and rescue for everything it is that they've done to keep us safe and out of harm's way. I want to thank you for viewing and for making this channel what it is. I appreciate your input and feedback. A lot of folks have asked about things like product comparisons, so I thought this would be a good one to do. And, well, I appreciate you watching. This is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle, wishing everybody fun on the water and a great day.